I think a word or a phrase that I would use to describe survivors is just fierce. You know, they're something to be reckoned with. They're so strong. It's not just one piece, it's the holistic person, inclusive of their mental, physical, and spiritual being. And it's so hard to have one word encompass that. But survivor is probably as good as it gets.
I would say that cancer survivors have so much grit that is needed to move through all of this treatment. They're just really the strongest group of patients I've ever met. They face so much adversity and so much change in their life. From day one of diagnosis, their whole life changes. So they have to have an enormous amount of grit to continue to make it through.
I think the phrase that comes to my mind with someone surviving is a champion. I really do, because they've had to adapt to a whole different body. You know, some people feel like their body has betrayed them. Some people feel like the body I had before is no longer the body I have now. They've surmounted the physical, and then to adjust to a world where I've gone through a great trauma. My back's been against the wall because of a diagnosis of cancer. I beat it, now I have to go forward.
What I learned was the amazing strength and resilience, of all these people. I don't know if I can do this. They have amazing strength. People go through so many treatments and challenges, but they bounce back. They bounce back with a smile, and they're moving forward with life. So they teaches me every day the power of this inner strength and the ability to move forward to the next day. I'm really inspired by them.
You know, there's a lot of different definitions of what people think survivorship is. And for me, I felt like I was surviving from the day I was diagnosed, even though it was a hard survivorship in probably the first 4 years, just because I had 5 recurrences. I've had over 30 hours of surgery, I've had radiation, I've had 4 different chemo regimens. So for me, being a survivor means getting up every day, being alive, being thankful, and thanking God for one more cancer-free day.
When somebody gets a diagnosis of cancer, they're thinking about the worst. And then they need every strength, from inside and outside to get out of that place. I hope every patient with a diagnosis of cancer will have access to similar world-class care they can have in the state, in the country, or in the world.
We really truly feel for our patients. We feel their heartache, we feel their fear and frustration. Moving forward with them, we truly are there with them, and everything that we do, we're trying to do better for them. And I learned all of that and continue that still every day as my role has grown and changed over the years.
I feel being a cancer survivor is really just fighting through your days. Control what you can control. Don't worry about things that you can't. Understand that there's always going to be change. There's always going to be challenges. Finding out it was going to be tougher and tougher and tougher. You just find a way to fight through it and use your support systems in the best way you can. I was diagnosed with cancer in May of 2017. It was a stage 4 diagnosis. We found out right away. As a patient, I was willing to fight, and my family was willing to fight alongside of me. It gave me a tremendous amount of confidence and a lot of the abilities it takes to overcome such a tough obstacle and hearing it.
Working with cancer survivors, I've learned so much about hope, about vulnerability, about passion, and about really relying on the people around you in ways that really you couldn't have imagined. I've learned about trust and faith in ways that allow us to reflect and pause about life and about what really matters. I feel so lucky to be a part of the cancer journey for our patients here, and really devoted to making lives better, whatever that may look like to each patient.
Cancer survivorship, in my eyes, is one area of cancer care where the patient is really in two camps. They're constantly trying to reclaim life before treatment. They are working very hard while they're still living with the long-lasting effects of the treatment. With that said, they're also trying to temper their own anxieties, their own concerns about the next round of scans and what will that show. I often tell people the diagnosis of cancer will always be a timeline in their lives, and my hope is that we've been transformed to be better versions of ourselves because of the experience. But even above that, I wish them peace and balance as you go forward.
One hope or goal that I have for cancer survivors is to get more patients to be able to get a truly established survivorship visit where they have a whole amount of time dedicated to their health, well-being, support, education, and are able to take off some of their appointment time dedicated specifically to that.
Thank you for allowing us to be part of your cancer journey.
You have a lot of strengths. The fact that you've heard the diagnosis and you've gone through treatment speaks to enormous internal fortitude. The fact that you have been able to complete treatment, to be told, we will see you in survivorship clinic, and to be able to live in that world where you were under the eyes of all these medical professionals for so long, and now you're on your own, and to be able to temper that as you go forward, you're a champion. They're just champions, and they all have strengths.
I'm just so grateful to our patients and our cancer survivors specifically in the space of allowing us to be a part of their cancer journey.